Last year at this time, it looked like the proximate cause of World War III might be on the Korean Peninsula. Today, they joined their railway lines together and are hugging each other with a gusto I personally have never seen before. It looks like that the road to unity of the two Koreas is now open. And although the highway may be long, the destination is in little doubt, unless other people interfere. We'll be looking at the parlous state of Britain's relations with Russia and, from today at least, with China, because little Gavin Williamson, the fireplace salesman, piped up today. Don't tell him your name, Pike. And he's declared economic war on China, in step with the United States of America. Again, the proximate cause is Huawei, the mobile phone company, the telecoms giant, the second biggest in the world. I just drove past Waterloo and they've got the entire IMAX. The whole IMAX is covered in Huawei propaganda. Now, I've never used a Huawei. I'm quite happy, actually, with my Apple iPhone. But some people want Huawei out of the market. I understand why the United States did. Reasons of pure protectionism, to protect Apple and the other giants headquartered there. But I don't understand why Britain would want to join a trade war with China. But that's what Williamson did today. He warned that Huawei is actually spyware. This is particularly absurd, given that virtually every day the extent of the spying and the commercial subversion of data and of the customers unaware of the use to which their information is being put out and sold is being revealed. Every day almost. Facebook is in a scandal. Apple is in a scandal. Amazon is in a scandal. But it's Huawei who are the spies. And I've been thinking about what might lie behind this. In our case, it can't be protectionism because we don't have a dog in that fight. Here's my theory. Actually, phones and other telecommunications devices are very, very handy to spies. And if you have a Chinese dog in the fight over 5G, there's a real danger that the Chinese would get to know how much spying our telecommunications giants were allowing to go through their back door. And that's why the Five Eyes, the five white Anglo-Saxon Protestant countries of Canada, the United States, Australia, New Zealand, and last of all now, Britain, have joined the fight against Huawei. Now, it was one thing blustering and threatening and insulting little North Korea, which didn't have much of an ability to fight back. But picking a fight with China is really, really stupid, because by this time next year, China will be even closer to being the most important country in the world, economically, financially, militarily, and in almost every respect. So, when your country is about to leave the European Union, leave 27 European Union partners behind you to slip your moorings and sail off into the world, it might be a good idea to actually be making new friends in the world rather than new enemies. It's bizarre. David Cameron and George Osborne couldn't have been closer to China. In fact, both of them were earning a penny or two out of their knowledge of and good relations with China once they left office. And now, little Pike Williamson has ripped it all up and declared economic war on China. And as we saw on the arrest of the senior finance officer of Huawei in Canada at the behest of the US Justice Department, China fights back. So look out for retaliation for little Gavin Williamson's piping up on the subject today. I must reiterate that this is just my theory, of course. You may have a different one, and if you do, I want to hear from you. 0344 499 1000. If you disagree with me, your call, your email, your tweet will be prioritised. Of course, British-Russian relations were already in the tank. Although, as I keep saying to you, increasingly, you have to regard China and Russia as one thing, one item. They are definitely an item. They are in the tank because of many complex Cold War reasons. But the depth of our enmity between Russia and Britain, between Britain and Russia, was undoubtedly plumbed by the Skripal affair. It's been some time since I've been able to turn to this subject. I'm grateful for the opportunity now to do so. I didn't pick the subject. I'm happy to deal with it because somebody somewhere has to draw a line in the steadily plummeting relations between Britain and Russia. Or where will it end? Somebody somewhere has to say, Russia is the biggest country in Europe. Moscow is the biggest city in Europe. The Russian economy is massive and getting bigger. We are, all of us on the European continent, dependent on Russian energy, particularly, of course, gas. It is foolish for both sides to continue digging this hole ever deeper. And whatever happened to the Skripal affair? Whatever happened to the Skripals? Whatever happened to the police investigation? Are we any further forward? Do we want to be? Or are we quite content to leave this issue up there like a totem on the shelf and use it as a reason why no meaningful relations exist now between Britain and Russia? We'll be going inside MI5, talking to Annie Machen, the former intelligence officer, about the Skripal affair and where it stands. We'll be talking to Dr. John Hemmings, the director of the Asia Studies Centre at the Henry Jackson Society on the North and South Korea relations. And we'll be talking, of course, about Trump. Now, I believe that Trump has finally found a way to follow his instincts and his election campaign platform. He said, elect me and I will stop America being the world's policeman. Elect me and I will withdraw America from needless military engagements in far-off places of which we know little, he knew even less, and which are not in our interests to be involved in. And now he's done it. He's already pulled, how remarkably swift, American forces from eastern Syria. I just saw a helicopter picture of American forces being airlifted out of the area. And all those doomsayers who said that the Turks would fall upon the Kurds as soon as America withdrew its very few 2,000 soldiers from eastern Syria have been already confounded, because the Kurdish people, very cleverly and very correctly, have made their peace with Damascus, and the Syrian flag now flies in the towns vacated by the United States forces. And now, if Turkey invades to attack the Kurds, well, they'll have to fight Syria too, and Syria's allies, who carry quite a big stick. But 2019 might be the last year of Donald Trump's presidency. If all the propaganda that we've been fed about the Mueller inquiry turns out to be true, if the Steele dossier, you remember, those girls wetting themselves with the delight at meeting Donald Trump in a Moscow hotel room, and all of that, if all of that comes to pass, then it might be, given the change in arithmetic in the US Congress, that an impeachment of Donald Trump might just move forward. We'll be talking to Caleb Mopan, a journalist and political analyst, one of my favourite analysts of American affairs later in the show. There are many other stories, of course, and you can bring them up. You can bring them up if you think I'm missing the big picture. Of course, we now, what's it called? It's not a national emergency. What's it called? It's called a major incident that 50 people crossed the channel. I would have thought on any given day there's more than 50 people crossing the channel. But give me your view. Is it a major incident? Is it an incident that you need to be concerned about? Or is it another look over there affair? You may think that the Brexit vote coming up in, well, how long? Not even 4 weeks from now is the big story already for 2019. I speak about that a lot. I'm ready to do so again. We're leaving the European Union after all in, nobody gave me the number, but it's certainly well less than 100 now, might even be less than 90 days away from our leaving the trading bloc that we have been in for the last 45 years. A significant event in anybody's language.